Hello, friends. Welcome again to another episode. This is Colette, or some people call me Coco, and this is Colette Ramazani or Coco Ramazani. Um, I'm back again to talk to you today. I hope you guys had a wonderful Easter and you had fun with your family, and also you did whatever you're supposed to do to enjoy the holiday. So am I. I had a wonderful holiday. I was just home as usual, and especially in this corona uh, situation, still not really going too far or to go interact with people. So anyway, yeah, welcome. It's been a little while, but I was working on something, and so I'm ready now to talk to you again about my book that I decided to start talking chapter by chapter. The book of Tell This to My Mother. Tell This to My Mother, which is my personal story, and fighting back about what happened to me, and trying to bring awareness about what happened to me and is still happening in church and at a workplace and in families. But I am on the chapter of what happened to me in church when I started singing in church at in early age as a teenager. So we are on that chapter, and um, I would like to spend more time with you today and try to talk a little bit about it again, and to try to respond to someone who harassed me on Facebook and harassed one of my follower on Facebook. So this man, or this guy, a Congolese guy. I was born in Congo, and I grew up in Congo. Now I'm living in America for quite some times now, 4 years. Um, but I'm going to respond to this another monster, I can say, because only another monster like a Pastor MUSAFIRI who can allow himself um, to harass me because I'm talking about my story, what happened to me, because I decided to speak up and to fight back about what happened to me, what they did to me, what this Pastor MUSAFIRI I trusted. I called a father. I called, a mentor, a church, what he did to me. And this man, a follower of Pastor MUSAFIRI, harassed me after I posted the first video about Pastor MUSAFIRI, and he went on Facebook and harassed me. So I'm coming today to respond to him. His name is George Buhendwa. George Buhendwa, and he calls himself as defender for justice. I don't even think you deserve to say you are like a journalist, or you are, I don't know, whatever you call yourself, that you are for justice. I don't think if you are for justice. I don't think if you fight for justice. George Buhendwa. That's your name. George Buhendwa is your name. I don't even know you. You may know me from singing in Sayuni. And yes, I was well known in Bukavu. And because of my voice, because of how I choose to serve God. And yeah, so you may know me, but I don't know you and I don't remember you. Alors, George Buhendwa, j'aimerais vraiment te parler aujourd'hui et te répondre sur ce que tu as fait et ce que tu as dit à moi sur Facebook et ce que tu as aussi dit à l'une des personnes qui me supportent. Et c'est une dame avec qui j'ai chanté aussi dans la chorale centrale ou à l'église de Sayuni, Kadutu. Georges, j'ai pitié de toi et je regrette parce que tu as été né d'une femme et tu n'es même pas à mesure de prendre soin des femmes, ni même de protéger les femmes, ni même de se battre pour les femmes. J'ai pitié de toi et je regrette la mère ou la maman qui t'a amené dans ce monde. So, George Buhendwa, I feel so bad for you. I feel so bad for your mother who brought you to this earth because you cannot even protect her, I think. Because if you can attack me, harass me, because I'm speaking up against your beloved pastor who molested me, your beloved pastor who hurt me, who stole my youth from me, who stole my innocence from me. And then I feel very bad for you. If you are a father yourself, which I think you may be a father for now, looking at your pictures, you must be married and you are a father of I don't know how many kids because I don't know you. And I feel sorry for your kids because I don't think you will ever be there to protect them whenever someone will come to hurt them. I feel sorry for them. But I'm fighting even for your kids. I'm fighting even for your sisters. I'm fighting for any woman in your cycle or in your life or in your family. Even if you decided to harass me because I'm speaking up about what Pastor MUSAFIRI did to me. Pastor MUSAFIRI who destroyed my life, my faith. Pastor MUSAFIRI Chidunga, the one I called a father, the one I called a mentor in the choir. So George, life is full with surprises. I was born with parents, two parents, a father and a mother. Unfortunately, they died before even I know them. You don't even know because you said in your message that you sent on Facebook to harass me that my parents just died not long ago. You don't know the difference between sisters or siblings and the parents, I think. Because my mom, I didn't have a chance to see her because she was taken away from me after my father passed away. My father died in car accident, and I didn't even realize that until I was taken to school at one of the Catholic school in Bukavu. My parents never lived in Bukavu. My father never wanted to live in Bukavu. He had houses in Bukavu because he was a very successful man, businessman. My father was a successful businessman, but he never wanted to live in Bukavu. He lived in his village like yourself. I know you are Mushi, and you guys have homes or residents in your villages, and there are many businessmen in Bashi's villages. So my father also, as a successful man he had homes, and I came to live in one of them. We had one home my father purchased in Buholode, and another home or house in Chimbunda Premier. You said in your message that I lived in Funu. No, I never lived in Funu. Je n'ai jamais vécu à Funu. Peut-être tu as confondu Funu et Chimbunda Premier. I lived at Chimbunda Premier, not Funu. So you need to get your information correct. That's why I'm saying you are a big liar, and I feel sorry for you. You don't even know me. So my father prepared the homes for, his family. He had those homes in Bukavu, but he never lived in Bukavu. So my father died a long time ago. I didn't even see him. I don't remember his face. And this book, I spoke about my father's death in it. My mother died after that. She was taken away to her family because of the culture. And I've been fighting about that culture for separating children. If one parent is dead, the surviving parent need to take care of the kids, need to care after the kids. They don't need to separate the kids from the surviving parent. And I succeeded to make that change in my own family, because I need to start from my own family to make a change, because my mother was taken away from me due to that culture. I'm Lega. I was born, both parents are Lega. You are Mushi. When I came in Sayuni, I was just a teenager. I started at Sunday school. I started singing in children choir at Uaminifu branch by Buolo Premier, if that's how you want me to call it, because that's all you know. So that's where I started singing in children choir at the Uaminif branch. It's one of Sayuni branch. And what took me there was just the love of singing. Very innocent child. After that, I was recruited. I was becoming now a teenager. From the time I was at the Buolo Premier singing in children choir, I even sang with the daughters of some pastors, you know, such as Pastor Maroi, Pastor Kashale, or Kashali, I don't remember the correct pronunciation of it. And we had also like leaders who were all male, but they never hurt me until I went to the grown-up choir. And if I had a choice to choose which choir I was gonna sing in, I don't think if I would ever choose choir A or choir central. No, I was gonna probably, you know, pick choir B or chorale des jeunes. That was gonna be my choice probably, because choir A seemed to be very boring at that time. Until I started singing in there, you know, things started getting, you know, very interesting. People got really to love choir A. But before that, choir A was very boring. So I don't think if I was gonna choose that choir at all. So to get to the point, you called me a liar about my story. I want to tell you this. George Buhendwa, Pastor MUSAFIRI, Chidunga, molested me. He chose to write the story I'm talking today. He made that decision by himself. He wasn't there. The first time I went to his house, he took me there. And I was well welcome, and I spoke about it in this book. By his family, I was well welcomed. He took me to his family. That was after the service one day. And they started already practicing with me in the choir. And I didn't suspect anything really that he was gonna hurt me like that. He was like a father figure to me. Pastor MUSAFIRI knew I was an orphan. I told him about my life. After he asked questions, I told him about my life. I told him I didn't have a parent. I told him I was home with my sisters in Chimbunda, Premier. That's where I was living at that time. We had 3 homes. I think I could call homes, because I could move from one house to another house. So Pastor MUSAFIRI knew the struggle I was going through in the house where I was living. He knew already that one of my brother-in-law was abusing me home. I was very vulnerable. And he knew I loved to sing, and all I wanted was to sing like any child. And the Pastor MUSAFIRI, Chidunga, yes, he was a father himself. He was a father. And I never really thought he was gonna turn out to be a monster like he became. But one day, he started manifesting things to me. So George Buhendwa, that's your name. You know who you are. For you to harass me because I'm speaking up the truth. Pour toi de m'harasser parce que je parle de la vérité de ce que Pasteur MUSAFIRI m'avait fait. You should be ashamed of yourself as a man. You should be ashamed of yourself. Your intimidation is not gonna stop me. I just got started. George Buhendwa. I just got started. And that time of putting women down, it's over. I'm not that little girl as the Pastor MUSAFIRI used to call me anymore. I am not. I am now a big girl. Educated. I finished school with a master's degree in business administration. That's how educated I am. George Buhendwa, when the Pastor MUSAFIRI was calling me, you little girl, he wasn't there. Pastor MUSAFIRI, la première fois qu'il m'avait harassé ou bien molesté, the first time he molested me, it was in his house, dans l'annexe de chez lui. That's where he made me suck, have oral sex on him. I threw up. J'avais vomi après qu'il avait éjaculé dans ma bouche. Un père comme Pasteur MUSAFIRI. A father of children himself, like a Pastor MUSAFIRI. But Pastor MUSAFIRI was giving me instruction on how to perform oral sex on him. Pastor MUSAFIRI said it himself. If you read the book, he wanted to make me a woman. Lorsqu'il m'avait d'abord demandé de le faire, I froze. I didn't even know what to think of. I didn't even know what he was talking about. I didn't know what he was talking about. I froze. When he pulled his pants off or down, I was traumatized. And for you, George Buhendwa, to call me a liar or to say that my parents just died not long ago, you should be ashamed of yourself, because you can't defend Pastor MUSAFIRI. He decided when he pulled his pants down, when he called me, you little girl, come over here, I'm gonna make you a woman. He made that decision himself. So you can't defend him. He didn't ask you for permission. He made a decision to hurt, to molest me. He made that decision. When he put his penis in my mouth, he made a decision himself. Himself. He wasn't there. He didn't ask your opinion. So you have no right to defend him, to harass me because I'm speaking up about my pain. George Buhendwa, you have no right to harass me because I'm speaking up, because I decided to go public, because I decided to expose him. Whether he is dead or not, it doesn't matter. His actions will live on forever because they are in this book. I wrote them. And even in heaven or in wherever he is, those actions live on forever. Pastor MUSAFIRI himself, he was teaching no sex before marriage. That the doctrine of Sayuni, Sepak or Sepza at that time. Pasteur MUSAFIRI lui-même. Et là, donc, l'église Sayuni a des doctrines. Et cette doctrine est que pas de sexe avant le mariage. Je ne pouvais même pas toucher un garçon, donc, où, comme j'étais aussi tout près donc, des garçons qui chantaient dans la chorale qu'on appelait Light Choir. Je ne pouvais même pas toucher leurs mains parce que j'avais peur que je vais commettre un péché juste en touchant la main d'un homme. Mais la même personne, Pastor MUSAFIRI Chidunga, the same person, the same guy, the same pastor who was teaching us the doctrine of Sepak or Sepza at Sayuni, he's the one who made me again touch, see an old man as a teenager, and who made me have oral sex the first time, and who made me taste sperm for the first time. And until today, I'm throwing up about that. And I am on a medication for that. For years now, I'm taking medication called Zofran. You can go ask any woman if there is even Zofran medication in Congo anyway. But I do take that medication often by prescription because I throw up often. Each time I have a flashback of Pastor MUSAFIRI's sperm in my mouth, I throw up. I throw up. So, George Buhendwa, Pastor MUSAFIRI decided to write his own story by making the decision to molest me as a kid, as a teenager. There is nothing you can do to change that. There is nothing you can do to erase that. He made that decision clear into himself. When he pulled down his pants, when he invited me in that little house was at his place, that was his own decision, not you. He didn't ask you. So stop harassing me, and you cannot defend him. Whether he's dead or not, his action will never die. His actions will never die. I can give you an example. Hitler committed unimaginable crime. He's dead. As the history, showed up that he killed himself. Hitler, who was the leader of Germany, who caused World War, II and I. But every time we have a new book about Hitler, every time there is a movie about Hitler, he's dead. But his actions are here forever. And people have a right to know what he did. The same thing. The death of Pastor MUSAFIRI Chidunga doesn't make him innocent of what he did to me and the other women, married, unmarried. I'm not gonna say the name of any girl here right now. But I remember there is a time Pastor MUSAFIRI said, "You have a rival now." And yes, indeed, she was. And she was a Christian who came from another region just to go to school. And the Pastor MUSAFIRI jumped on her. She became another victim of Pastor MUSAFIRI. I know her. And I know another. And I know another. And I know another. They were victims like me. So Pastor MUSAFIRI, he decided to write his own story. Good or bad, that was up to him. He did it. He chose that. When he came in my mouth, when he ejaculated in my mouth, George, tu n'étais pas là. He wasn't there. He didn't ask for your opinion. Congo will never change. If there is a man like you, that means you are a monster and you are a molester yourself. George, if you can defend Pastor MUSAFIRI, you are a molester yourself. You are a monster yourself, like him. No doubt about that. I can't even trust you with any child near you. I can't. Because if you can defend Pastor MUSAFIRI, I can't trust you with a child near you. And I will speak up until I die. So, George, read the book for yourself. Because until today, I can smell Pastor MUSAFIRI's sperm. Until today, I can hear Pastor MUSAFIRI's voice. I can see his face, the way he was laughing at me. I felt humiliated. I was in confusion. I couldn't believe this, the same pastor who was telling me no sex before marriage, no touching a man. He was the same pastor again who pulled down his pants for the first time in my life and who put his penis in my mouth for the first time. The same pastor who called himself as a father to me. The same pastor who said that I'm going to take care of you was the same pastor who said, I'm going to make you a woman because I was a little girl. I was a little girl. And for him, he wanted to make me a woman. He wanted to transform me to a woman. Let me tell you, George, I was traumatized. And I'm still traumatized. until today. Until today. It took me longer to speak up. And again, George, I confronted the Pastor MUSAFIRI before his death. And George, you need to go to church and ask them why Pastor MUSAFIRI was fired. The problem with the churches, they cover up. They cover up, but no, for so long. No, for so long. You need to go and ask why they fired him. Once you get that answer, and then figure out the rest. Because the Pastor MUSAFIRI was fired after I confronted him, and I still have that. I sent a letter to him with my sister who died. I sent a letter to him. Can you imagine Pastor MUSAFIRI? He died here in America, but I never want to see him. I never want to talk to him. I never want to see him ever again or talk to him ever again. I never. Because the pain he caused to me is just too much. And I'm still recovering from that pain. I'm still fighting for my life because of what the Pastor MUSAFIRI did to me. I do take a medicine every single day because of what he did to me. Pastor MUSAFIRI. You know, molestation or rape, victims don't speak up quickly. It takes time for them to speak up. So when a Pastor MUSAFIRI was telling me on page 65, he said, seeing me stare wide-eyed with the terror, he pushed me. He pushed my head firmly against his thigh and thrust his penis in my mouth. That's page 65. I had some idea of what a man did with his penis during sexual intercourse, but not this kind of thing at all. I didn't know. I knew that, men and women can have a sex, but I didn't know how because I was just a little girl. And again, they used to teach us at Sayuni. There was a seminars already started about marriage, and there was teaching about sex, but I didn't know anything about it. Pastor MUSAFIRI was the first man I saw a grown-up naked. Pastor MUSAFIRI. Shame on him. Hypocrite. They are teaching if you touch a man, it's a sin. If you have a sex before marriage, it's a sin. And the same thing, at the same time, they are doing it to other little girls like me. That's the Pastor MUSAFIRI behavior. I don't know how he married his wife. I have no idea. I didn't know him. But why they get married if they cannot be faithful? Why? I didn't know where I was anymore when he put his penis in his mouth. This is how I describe it. I didn't know where I was anymore. My eyes filled with tears. I asked myself if my pastor had gone crazy. That's how I felt that day. I wondered myself, is my pastor went crazy? Because I couldn't believe what I was living at that time. I couldn't believe what Pastor MUSAFIRI was asking me to do. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. This is the Father. Je n'imaginais même pas, je ne m'y attendais même pas que Pasteur MUSAFIRI pouvait me demander